This is Jared Horak for today's RacingDigest.com, and this is my Kentucky Derby 2018 Contenders update. I started my Kentucky Derby list last September 2017 after the Del Mar Saratoga Summer Meets. And now each week you can read my weekly Kentucky Derby reports at today'sracingdigest.com. So each week I update those, and you can read that over at today'sracingdigest.com. Now, if you want to qualify for the Kentucky Derby, you got to run in one of the Kentucky Derby points races. Now, the Churchill Downs, they've designated qualifying races for the 2018 Kentucky Derby. In 2017, there were 9 Kentucky Derby points races. Now, the top 4 finishers in each race, they accumulate points. And then at the end, at the conclusion of all the points races, the top 20 points earners will run in the 2018 Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs on the first Saturday in May. Now, last year, there were 9 Kentucky Derby points races, and we had 9 different winners. In 2018, so far, we've had 17 Kentucky Derby points races, and we've had 17 different winners. Now, there were some winners that won a race in 2017, and then they came back and won a race in 2018. Now, horses with a win in the Kentucky Derby points race in 2017 and 2018, Bolt d'Oro is one, Firenze Fire, Enticed, he won the Gotham Stakes a few weeks back, and then McKinzie, he won the Los Al Futurity, and then he won the Sham Stakes this year. So those are horses that have won a race in each year, but we haven't had any win 2 races in 1 year yet. So this is really a wide open derby. There are a lot of horses vying for those points, and the points, they range from 10 points for the winner in some of the races up to 100 points if you win a Kentucky Derby points race, such as the Louisiana Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, the Bluegrass Stakes. Now, I think the key prep race in 2017 on that Kentucky Derby trail was the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs. The winner of that one was Enticed, and he came back and he won the Gotham Stakes. I mentioned that a few minutes ago. And we've had 4 other horses from the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes come back and win stakes races. Promises Fulfilled, he won the Fountain of Youth Stakes earlier this year. Re-Ride, he won the Big Drama Stakes and the Mind That Bird Derby. We had Quip, ran in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. He finished up the track. He won the Tampa Bay Derby a few weeks back. And then Bravazzo, he's one of your favorites for the Louisiana Derby. He won the Risen Star Stakes. He got 50 Kentucky Derby points for that one earlier this year. Another fact, we've had no horse has won the Kentucky Derby without racing as a 2-year-old since 1882, and that was Apollo. So it's been a long time, and a number of horses have tried it. They haven't been successful. But we have 2 very talented horses, 2 very talented unraced 2-year-olds trying to win the 2018 Kentucky Derby. They are Justified for trainer Bob Baffert. He's 2 for 2. He won a maiden and an allowance race. He's supposed to run in the Arkansas Derby next, and he might meet another talented unraced 2-year-old, Magnum Moon. Magnum Moon is 3 for 3 for trainer Todd Pletcher, and he picked up 50 Kentucky Derby points winning the Risen Star Stakes in his last start. And it'll be something if Justify and Magnum Moon run against each other in the Arkansas Derby, and they both run well, and then they both end up in the Kentucky Derby, and they're going to try to break that Apollo curse. Now, right now, if you go over to today'sracingdigest.com, you can read my most recent Kentucky Derby update, and here are my top 5 contenders as of March 22nd, 2018. Coming in at number 5, Solomini. He was 2nd in the Rebel Stakes. He was one of the top 2-year-olds in the country last year. He was 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as well. Coming in at number 4 is Good Magic, your 2-year-old champion. He was 1st in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He was 3rd in the Fountain of Youth in his first start this year. A little bit of a disappointing effort, but he could easily improve for trainer Chad Brown. He's going to run in the Bluegrass Stakes on April 7th. Next, Audible is my 3rd ranked Kentucky Derby contender at this point. He was 1st in the Holy Bull Stakes for trainer Todd Pletcher. He was very impressive that day, and he's going to have his final Kentucky Derby points race in the Florida Derby later this month. Coming in at number 2, McKinzie for trainer Bob Baffert. He was 1st in the Los Al Futurity. He was 1st in the Sham Stakes. And then he just missed in the Santa Anita Derby. He actually did win that one. He was placed 2nd via disqualification behind my top-ranked Kentucky Derby contender and my only top-ranked Kentucky Derby contender up to this point, Bolt d'Oro. He's been my number 1 since I started my list last September. He remains there. He was 1st in the Front Runner Stakes. He was a very wide 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. And then he came back and he just missed in that San Felipe. He was placed 1st through disqualification. The show finisher was well behind Bolt d'Oro and McKenzie. And I think so far, the best Kentucky Derby prep race of 2018 has been the San Felipe Stakes up to this point. Both D'Oro and McKinzie dominated that race, and they earned strong speed figures as well. So one more time, read my Kentucky Derby weekly reports at todaysracingdigest.com. And on all those reports include Today's Racing Digest speed figures for all of the top Kentucky Derby contenders. That will wrap up this week's video, and I'll be back after all the Derby prep races are run to update my Kentucky Derby contenders list. Until then, good luck at the races.